Hello, guys, and welcome to Fisherman Huddle. Thank you guys for joining me today on the show. We have a very basic show I'm teaching today, one-on-one. And so let's get started. Baby, I said this is the year of the Giants. This is a 3-pounder, easy spot on the Colorado blade. Look at that. Welcome again to Fisherman Huddle, guys. Thank you for joining me today. We have a very important show, very basic show for beginners and people who have been fishing for a long time like me. And so, first of all, we're going to talk about good old Mystery Tackle Box. Check out MysteryTackleBox.com, sponsored by Carl's Bait and Tackle, man. What is Mystery Tackle Box? Basically, you get you a box whether you decide if you want to do bass fishing, you want a bass fishing box or trout box. You have different boxes. All depends on what you want. And they basically put different lures, different baits in here based upon the time, based upon the season. So it's winter season, so you'll have, probably some lipless crankbaits, some crawls, or some 6-inch lunker logs. And so put that in there for you. I mean, the value of the box is probably like $60-80, man. But with promo code, or if you use my promo code, you'll get $10 off your first box. So I suggest checking out MysteryTackleBox.com and see about their promo codes, or if you can get your first box for a very low price. So I suggest checking out good old Mystery Tackle Box. All right, we've covered that. So what I'm going to talk about is the rod. All right, this is your rod. Actually, this is my rod. I tell people preferably get something that you like, a color, texture, something like that, something to get used to. This is a medium heavy rod, open cast rod. I like using this. I want to upgrade pretty soon to something new. And so the old simple open cast rod, your line. I always talk about, hey, this is your antenna. This helps you feel the bottom and feel those rocks, heavy cover. Your line helps you as well determine if you have a fish, if it's just nipping, or if it's just gadded, or if it's time to set the hook. And so, like I said, get something that you like, a color that you like, something to get used to, because you're going to spend a lot of time with it, especially with using what I'm going to talk about today. It's a very basic, very simple way of fishing. So we're going to talk about today the Texas rig, how to rig it up, how to move it, some different things that I'll kind of flow into. So Fisherman Huddle's featured bait is, of course, Googan Baits. This is a Googan Bait Pure Passion 6-inch lunker log. The reason why I like using the Googan Bait lunker log, because it's heavy. You can throw it, you can throw it weightless. It all depends on the water. If the water's not too heavy, that means if it just sinks down, and something very shallow, back in the cut, something very shallow. And so that is the 6-inch lunker log. I call it the Fat Juicy, because it is juicy, it's heavy, and that's why I like using it. And so we're going to talk about the line, which is very important, man. If you're going to put some money into something, put it into your line. I think the most expensive I've seen was like $15-16. That's not bad. Putting it into a line. I'd rather put a good money into a line than a lure. You can buy affordable lures and stuff at Bass Pro Shop, Dick's Sporting Goods. Really nice lures, that work. Or if you have the cash, hey, you throw in and buy some expensive stuff. And so we're going to talk about the line. This is a Berkley Super Strong Trilent Smooth Casting XL, and that's a 10 lb, and the yard you can get is 300. You can actually buy one of these and basically reset up one rod. If you use it wisely, so that's your line. Me, I preferably tell people to get 12 lb. That's good. But if you're not a beginner, 10 lb is good, but you have to use the drag a lot. But 12 lb line is really, really safe for you to use to start off. Let's talk about the hook. Now, there are different types of hooks that you can use. I used to use this type of hook a whole lot, but I switched to the open aught hooks. You see that open aught hook? I switched to using the open aught hooks because I like the style, man. I just like it. It's just cool. But how do you set up a Texas rig? First of all, what I made up, what I created, my own knot, is called the Gorilla Knot. See that? So what I basically do, I'll tie it one time. I'll pull enough, about that much from my hook, and basically I'll tie it and then tie it twice. I just basically twist it till about right here. Then I'll tie it 3 times, and you got your Gorilla Knot. And so how do you put it on the worm? So basically you put it through the top, put it right through that top, pull it out all the way through, and you want to measure where that's going to sit. So you basically just tuck it in the back, and you have your setup. It's that simple. The other part of it is, of course, you can throw it like this, weightless. And also you can use a bullet weight. Some people use the free flowing bullet weight, and they'll put a little stopper right here at a certain length. But me, I like my bullet weight nice and tight, just like that. I'll pinch it at the top. Preferably use black bullet weight where the fish can't see, because fish are so used to the silver. And so I put it black. So that is your Texas rig. Now, how I move it, I always stress how you move your lures and baits. It gets you fish. It's going to get you fish. And using the Texas rig style is going to get you fish anyway, because it's a worm. It's very simple, and it looks juicy, it's fat, and so it looks realistic, like a little grub at the bottom. It's really fat, juicy. And so what I would do, I just use, really light twitches as I'm moving my rod, and then I'll do probably like 1, 2, 1, 2, just kind of get the fish's attention. Then I can get on to my heavier pops. I'll go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and that all depends on how thick the water is, how strong the current is, and I suggest throwing it short and just kind of getting the feel of how the water is, how much you can jerk it without it actually leaving the bottom, and all those things are variables. So I mean, that's simple. That's it. That's Texas rig. It's not that much to it. Sometimes you just throw it out there, you let it sit, the fish will pick it up. But that's Texas rig, man. Simple, and it's good to use, man. It's very, very simple bait. Because like I always say, when all else fails, slap on the Texas rig, drop shot, shaky head, So we covered, of course, the 10 lb, preferably 12. But if you're an advanced fisherman, you can use 10. If you use 10, you have to know how to use the drag. Basically tire the fish out So you want to pop your line. That's what it all depends on the bigger the fish is. Even with 12 will be test line. You know, make sure you learn how to use that drag. Let that fish pull its tire itself out. When it stops, reel it in. And so, of course, our featured bait of today on Fisherman Huddle, that is the Googan Bait 6-inch lunker log. Go out and get it, man. Dick's Sporting Goods, Bass Pro Shop, preferably Bass Pro Shops. I'll tell people in my video, check out Bass Pro Shops, because you have somebody there. They'll walk around the Bass Pro Shops. They'll show you what to do, what not to do, what type of line. If you want to ask questions, they'll ask you questions. So check out Bass Pro Shops. And so thank you guys for joining me for another show at Fisherman Huddle. And remember, pop them rods.